I see here where somebody asks, should I rather invest in new properties, completely new, which will be finished in 2, 3, 4, or 5 months, or should I rather go for something which is already built and has been in the market already? Well, usually I would say buy something which is really finished, and don't go for something which will be finished in the near future, because sometimes there were delays also here in the UAE, and perhaps it took longer than just 2, 3 months, which were set. Perhaps sometimes it takes even longer than that. Well, what else do we have? Then somebody asked, which free zone do you recommend if you want to do something? Well, I would recommend the free zone, which is the nearest to your plans. That means if you are, for example, in the internet business, then go to the internet city, Dubai Internet City. In the media city, in the media sector, go to Dubai Media City. And what we mentioned also, healthcare here is quite well developed. So if you're a doctor, you're in this field, perhaps then you go to the Dubai Healthcare City. So there are plenty of possibilities. Then somebody asked for property. Should the property bought in the personal name or rather in a company? Well, usually the easiest way is to buy property directly in the name of a person. Then you just have to bring the passport copy, and you have the passport copy, that's the main thing. And of course, you have a clean track record of yourself. If you buy it in the name of a company, it must be a company in that emirate where you establish the company, and the company, of course, needs to have all the company documents you need to show, and that, of course, could be a little bit more expensive and takes a bit longer than if you would buy it in the name of yourself. So that is possible. It's also possible to buy joint property in the name of the wife and the husband. All these, the flexibilities of this country. Good. This brings the question on my side for my presentation to an end. Then we open the stage for questions, for common questions. Well, I see here a question. How is your destination handling the pandemic with Corona? Well, how is it done in Athens, in Greece? Christo, do you want to say anything? Did that have any effects on the real estate market there? Perhaps yeah.
Well, as mentioned in my presentation, we handled the Corona situation quite good. So no, at the moment we haven't seen that much of a negative impact, nor positive. Certainly it will affect the touristic real estate, but at a later stage. It will show mid-October, let's say. Everybody is waiting for the season to end and see what they gain and what they lost. Probably everybody's gonna close the season with a bit of a loss. However, they're still expecting to see what measures will the government is prepared to take, and how will they fund, or what type of reassurances are they going to give before they start cashing out on holiday real estate, etc. At the moment, no. Athens and major cities still remain strong. There hasn't been any decrease in value at the moment.
Okay, thank you, Christo. How does it look like in the Caribbean? Kevin, how does it look like in Antigua?
Yeah, I think the Antiguan government did a pretty good job containing in the beginning, in the early parts of the year. The borders were essentially closed to non-essential travel at the end of March, and it reopened the beginning of June. And since then, we've seen the return of tourists. We've seen locals starting to travel again, back and forth, citizens abroad returning home. The amounts of cases have been generally on the low. Most of our cases are imported cases, so the community spread is very low at this point, which we're very glad for. But on a whole, the country is basically back to normal, fully opened in most cases. We're adhering to a few protocols in place, but other than that, everything seems to be getting back to normal. But definitely the tourism industry did get a hit, but slowly recovering. And for the citizenship aspect of it, in the beginning, we saw a decline in the amount of applications coming in, I guess because many other countries closed down at the same time, so things weren't moving as fast. However, we've seen an increase in demand within the last month. And I can tell you in certain markets, you're seeing a major increase, particularly in the North American market, you're seeing a huge increase. The Russian market, you're seeing an increase. And definitely in the Chinese, Southeast Asian market, there's always a demand for it over there. But now things are beginning to pick back up. Applications are beginning to be submitted again. Persons are able to go and get their documentation done in their home countries. And the banks are reopening and moving a little bit faster. So things are getting back to normal.
Okay, thank you. And how does it look like, Christos, in Dominica? And your microphone, Christos, your microphone, you have to switch on.
Well, I will speak about Dominica and Greece, and I will tell you the following thing. We have around 50 agents around the world who file through us for Dominica. And one of them has sent me a message in Arabic. All passports are now equal. No passport can get you anywhere. Well, that was the beginning. For Dominica, the cases were imported, 2 or 3 cases imported. The government took the correct measures. There are no cases. Life is back to normal. Greece, the government also took the correct measures. We are getting back to normal. We are under a certain normality now. There are tourists that are coming in from Europe. We hope that they open the borders 1st of August. But I want to stress 2 or 3 things. First, all this COVID case has emerged the market. There are people now who can understand that if they had a residence permit in Greece, they would fly back from wherever they would have been, because Greece was accepting people who had a residence permit here. So this is why the people who follow us, who I suppose they are professionals, they have to advise their clientele that either a citizenship or a residency is always a useful tool for their mobility, even in times of crisis. And I would like to stress out 2 things more for Greece. Central Bank of Greece has given a directive to open bank accounts for foreigners even remotely. It has not been yet implemented, but this will push the market again, because what the investor needs here is a private account to bring the money in Greece and buy property or do the deposit. And there is another aspect also, that Greece has this problem of age. I mean, you have the main applicant and the kids can follow him up to maximum 23, 24. Recently, there was a Russian case that went to the legal counsel of the Greek government, and the legal counsel has made a decision that even a minor can be a main applicant now for a golden visa. That means that for families who have 1 kid only, the kid can be the main applicant and can follow, the parents can follow all the life of for all their lives to be dependents of their kid.
Okay, thank you. Then a question concerning the payments. if somebody wants to go to one of your places, the payments, well, how are they done? Well, I would assume they're not done in cash, but can you confirm that you just do it with normal transfers? Is that correct? Christos, normal transfers.
Who of the two? Me? Yes, we accept all transfers. We accept euros or dollars or GBP for Dominica.
And Kevin, same to you, for you, I guess?
Yeah, we are accepting all transfers. The government has put into place where we can also accept Bitcoin. It has not fully been implemented, but everything has been laid out, the plans. So that is something that's coming on stream. For the Chinese, they are able to pay in RMB. And of course, you can pay in euro, you can pay in US dollars, Great Britain pound. And the banks are generally working as swift as they can to get these payments credited over to us to get the applications moving. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And Christo, your microphone.
Yeah, I know. Well, we do accept bank transfers and also cross checks when it comes to property acquisition.
Okay, and then a question concerning the transfer in case of inheritance. Somebody is in your scheme as a property and then passes away. Is there any way how that should be handled in a certain, something very special, or it just goes through the normal way as it would go in any other country? Kevin,
I'm not sure.
Or Christo, yeah, please go ahead.
Well, let me take this question. What I have just told you is that we had cases back in 2013 and 14 that the main applicant inherited or had already the property through inheritance. He is now accepted as a golden visa. He is eligible for a golden visa. And what I have just said, it is that the flexibility of the Greek administration, that even a minor child can now be accepted as the main applicant of a golden visa case.
Okay, thank you. Well, I guess I don't see any more questions. So I would like to thank all the speakers for the great presentations, and I do hope that all the people have now seen, all the participants, your addresses, they know how to connect with you, and that you get a good part of the new business. As we see, there is a demand for passports, there's a demand for investments in these different locations, and that of course is great. And if any question has not been answered, please reach out directly to the speakers. The contact is shared on the presentations, and this is the end of today's session. Thank you for joining, and as we have heard, Christos soon will have another presentation, a webinar, that of course is great, and we do hope that others will also participate here with Bosco, and I take this opportunity to thank Bosco, who has organized this conference. It is all fine and good to have this conference with webinars. Definitely it's a saving on the hotel expenses and on the travel expenses. That's definitely good. But sometimes it's a little bit more complicated. Well, do they see my presentation or not? Is it really going? How many are there? And you just speak into a screen and you don't see the people in front of you. This, of course, is something which is missing for me. I'm not sure whether for the young ones participating here, they say, well, I prefer to do it webinar-wise, and I don't need to see all these old guys. That, of course, could also be a possibility. But anyway, I thank you and enjoy where you are. Stay safe, wear a mask, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.